Good morning to all of you. Good day, happy day, and welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Please do join us until 9:30 this morning as we tackle so many things from nurses not being allowed to go abroad, clarifying why the Department of Labor stopped a project that Alabang interchange extension, etc. What is there to know about this conspiracy theory na pag nagpabaksin daw kayo, malamang at malamang mabago, it would alter your DNA. And then we will also speak to two guys who are part of the Megawide. Ano ba sila? Tycoons, typhoons, sino ba sila? How did they emerge as the guys who are now frontrunners offering to rehabilitate or renovate the NAIA or build a new terminal? I don't know. But let's find out, because today our guiding principle is go to the source. Ask the persons who are either the authority in the thick of it, who are involved or responsible for certain things. Kasi madali pong mag-judge. But as the Bible said, Jesus did not come to judge. So Cito cannot judge. Okay? So paminsan-minsan lang si Kuya ang medyo napipikon. Today, we will have for guests, hopefully, Secretary Silvestre, Bello will be able to join us kasi hindi ko alam kung nabalik na yung kanyang cellphone na na-snatch dun sa Manila. But we will speak with Secretary Silvestre Bello regarding the cap or the limit of deployment of nurses, frontliners abroad. And also yung report na pinatigil niya yung construction ng EEI San Miguel dyan sa may Alabang, interchange kasi dun sa naging aksidente. Then we will speak with a favorite, one of our favorites in agenda, Dr. Cynthia Saloma, Executive Director of Philippine Genome Center. Kasi sila yung experts sa DNA, sa genetics, etc. We want to deal with certain conspiracy theories. Kasi I have friends who are actually sharing this message, this thread on Facebook that claims to have come from Robert Kennedy ba yun sinasabi, or something Kennedy, and sinasabi raw niya na if you get vaccinated, it will alter your DNA. And then, of course, we have invited to come on the program. If you recall, about 2 weeks ago, medyo minute ulo ko, pumutok yung, sabi nga nila, pumutok ang butse. Kasi, there was a PR firm who allegedly made a presentation at pwede raw mag-guest dito sa show for a fee. Hindi po. Dito po, libre. Dito, free. Whether magtataho ka, magsusorbetes ka, o Megawide ka, o kaya SM ka, San Miguel ka, all are welcome to this program. If you have something positive, something new, something good to share with our viewers, everyone's welcome. Wala pong entrance fee dito. Okay? Nililinaw ko. And also let's spend the time or later part of our show today to get to know this businessman. Kasi sa dami ng challenges ngayon, and with all our aspirations and dreams, we all want to excel. Let's find out, is this Megawide group really a bunch of guys with lots of money? Or are they people who operate on the established principle? Hindi po ito kalokohan, no? Prinsipyo na po ito, yung working and investing other people's money to get big projects. We will have with us Edgar Saavedra, President and Chairman, CEO of Megawide Construction Corporation, and Louie Ferrer, Board Member, Megawide Construction Corporation. Sorry, excuse me. Medyo may dinadamdam ang Kuya Cito. In any case, those are our scheduled guests for today. And now, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star and pick up on the stories for those of you who are way out there in the boondocks. Let's take a look at the front page. Here we go. The Department of Health, or DOH, fears a post-holiday COVID surge as the agency discourages the public to carry on traditional holiday festivities to avoid spreading the virus. Parang sounds familiar yung announcement na yon. Because in the United States, that is now the issue. That is now the general direction. The government is telling the Americans, don't go home for Thanksgiving. Kasi walang pinagkaibahan doon sa Chinese New Year, sa Amerika, Thanksgiving, sa Pilipinas, Pasko. Ayan po, sinasabi, wag na po, iwasan nyo na po. And in the US, they're saying, please don't travel. Don't converge because you will probably get sick. You might pick up the COVID-19, etc. I just want to emphasize this, ladies and gentlemen, because just before I entered my living room to do this show, I got a text from one of my Bible study group members, and he said that one of our friends is just landed in the Cardinal Santos Medical Center dyan sa San Juan. Kasama yung anak niya, yung asawa niya, tatlong anak niya. Our friend, along with his wife, 3 kids, and household help, landed in the hospital because they all have COVID-19. Now, sorry, I can't name names, pero kilalang tao rin po ito. And, it just goes to show what Secretary Anyo said, what all the other government officials have said, na ngayon, pakyawan na ang COVID-19. The family gets it. In any case, that's a strong warning. If you can, have a very intimate, special, and symbolic Christmas. Labas niyo yung parol, magpatugtog kayo na magpatugtog ng Christmas carol. Kami, hindi nyo lang nakikita, pero na-shampoo na namin yung Christmas tree namin peke na puti. And today, after na shampoo siya, i-style namin siya. In any case, let's go to the newspaper bago ako pagalitan ni Gab. Above that story, we can see that this is also what the World Health Organization recommends. World Health Organization says, avoiding gatherings is the safest bet against the virus. At the top of the page, President Duterte says he won't name and investigate corrupt congressmen as they are from a co-equal branch of government. Okay, kasi hindi raw pwedeng makialam ang executive sa legislative. Tagalogin natin, tinabla. Moving on, okay, at the lower half of the page, government is planning to spend over 73 billion pesos for procuring vaccines for Filipinos. Kinompute namin yan kahapon 73 billion for 70 million. Tumatakbo mga 1,000 something. Normal cost, wala. Mahal talaga yung bakuna. In other news, Chinese embassy slams U.S. security advisor Robert O'Brien for his remarks on South China Sea and for accusing China of stoking tensions in the region. Of course, the embassy of China and the ambassador will have to make commentary because their bosses might say they're not doing anything and they're sleeping on the job. Okay. Meanwhile, Palace issues a warning against coddlers of illegal miners and loggers in the country, saying that they can face criminal charges. Wala, laway na lang po yun. I'm sorry, but I have to call it for what it is. This claim by Malacanang that they can, coddlers, ilang percent ng Congress ang cuddler? Ilang percent ng mga mayors ang cuddler? Ilang percent ng AFP military ang cuddler? I'm sorry, but I have traveled all over the Philippines. There are only a few islands I haven't put my foot on, but you know, I am the habit of chismoso ako eh. Honestly, chismoso ako. And people will tell me, bata ni Mayor eh, bata ni Kapitan, bata ni Colonel, bata ni Congressman, etc. Okay. And lastly, a Chinese herbal medicine designed to relieve flu symptoms has been launched in the Philippines. Ayan po, yun po yung tinatawag na, ano nga ba pangalan nun? Linwa King Wen, Xing Wen, or Linwa Xing Wen, or something like that. Yun yung pinapainom na herb. Ewan ko kung gaano kalakas yan. Pero some of my friends swear by it. Kaya lang, I'm sure that some of the other pharmaceutical companies would have a thing to say about this. Kasi sabihin ng mga ibang kaibigan natin doon sa mga pharmaceutical companies, bakit ganon? Bakit pag kaming mga American, European, Asian countries na nagpapatest at nagpapa-approve ng mga gamot dyan sa Pilipinas para masama dun sa listahan ng DOH, naabot kami ng siyam-siyam. Mga 2 taon daw to up to 4 years. No? 2 to 4 years daw. Eto, nakaka 8 months. Wala pa nga 8 months eh. Baka 6 months o 3 months lang. Approved! In any case, ayun po, no, medyo, sorry, maybe today I'm kind of like edgy today. But you know, sometimes if you really have to study what you do, because if people subject you to the test, medyo hindi papasa by comparison eh. Linwa, 3 months, 6 months. Tapos yung mga established companies abroad, 2 years na, wala pa yung approval ng kanilang gamot. Anyway, speaking of gamutan, ito hindi naman to about manggagamot, pero ito po, scientist. Puntahan po natin yung ating masarap kausap, si Dr. Cynthia Saloma, Executive Director of the Philippine Genome Center. Dr. Saloma, good morning!
Good morning, Cito. It's nice to be back.
Oy, mukhang bago hairstyle mo, boss,
After 6 months or 9 months, nagpasalon ako sa Katipunan, Cito, ha?
Well, I can feel the joy.
Can you imagine, grabe.
Anyway, Doktora, thank you for joining us. Alam mo, I told the team, pakikuha nyo nga si Doktora kasi kailangan ko ng credible, authoritative scientist to either confirm or debunk itong lumalabas. Kasi may mga kaibigan ako, pinadalan ako ng Facebook message. I don't know if you have heard it. It claims to have come from a Kennedy. Hindi ko nasasabihin yung first name, no? From a Kennedy. And ito yung sinasabi, no? I would like to draw your attention urgently to important issues related to the next COVID-19 vaccination. Okay, and for the first time in history of vaccination, the so-called last generation mRNA vaccines, okay, intervenes directly in the genetic material of the patient and therefore alter the individual genetic material, which represents the genetic manipulation, something that was already forbidden and until then considered criminal. Pwede ba yun? Kasi parang nagpabakuna ako, biglang magiging dahal ka ko o magiging...
So, Cito, this is the idea. Of course, this is the first time na magiging matetest itong mRNA vaccines, but we have to believe sa ating mga regulatory agencies, ano? So, for example, this the 2 vaccines designed by Moderna and the other one by Pfizer. Of course, it was a German design. These are all mRNA vaccines. So, we have to emphasize na pag ang mRNA, after that, ita-translate na siya sa protein. So pag sinabi nating mRNA, hindi na siya mag-undergo another round of synthesis of DNA, idire-diretso na siyang maging protein. So, hindi tayo mag-isip na papasok siya sa genome ng tao kasi for that to happen, kailangan mo yung mga certain insertion sequences or molecules that will allow a particular construct to enter into the genome of an individual. So for example, yung mga retroviruses, yun pwede. Pero itong mRNA, hindi. Ang next stage niya is to be translated into a protein. In this particular case, ito nga yung spike protein. So, as far as that concern is, as far as that fear is concerned, I don't think it's likely because ang construct na natin is an mRNA. Ang next step nito, protein na. Hindi na siya papasok pa sa nucleus at saka papasok sa ating chromosomal DNA. Hindi na. Ita-translate pa lang siya sa spike protein using the body's machinery. Tapos, kumbaga tayo mismo gumagawa ng spike protein, yun na yung pang-immunize sa atin. Samantalang, Cito, yung ibang vaccines, sila gumawa ng recombinant spike protein, tapos yun ang i-inject sa'yo. So, protein ang ini-inject nila. Ito naman, mRNA, and for some reason, it's very easy to manufacture compared to the, sorry, ang aking mga aso.
Okay lang.
So, for some reason, that's very easy to manufacture kasi kung baga meron ka lang plasmid vector, yung parang nagka-carry, tapos ipasok mo lang yung spike sequence doon na magiging mRNA siya. Yan ang ipasok mo doon sa individual. Tapos yun na i-inject. So hindi siya papasok na sa nucleus mo para lang magpasok sa iyong chromosomal DNA. Hindi na.
So masyadong komplikado at imposible. In other words,
At saka,
impossible that this vaccine, while it is a source from mRNA, it is transformed immediately into a protein. And because it's a protein, it's simply a chemical. It's not a live form.
Actually, a protein, of course, is a life form. So yung spike protein na yan, a portion lang yan na kinopya doon sa original virus. Tapos, i-recognize na yan ng ating immune system as foreign. Tapos, mag-i-elicit na siya ng immune response. So yung concern natin na papasok siya sa ating chromosomal DNA at saka we will become mutants, hindi naman yun totoo.
Okay. Pati yung mga sinasabi ng mga ibang tao pag-usapan nga natin, ma'am, yung doktora, yung mga vaccines in general, ano? Kasi maraming mga nananakot eh. May mga anti-vaccine groups talaga who are trying to frighten people, even here in the Philippines, and claiming na because of vaccine kasi ganyan yan. What should people know about vaccines?
So ito, number one, Cito, is itong ating vaccine, hindi lang naman yan ini-inject agad. Bago sila ma-approve, grabe ang regulation at saka mga independent bodies na nagre-review sa kanila. So supposing ito yung vaccines na dinedevelop sa US ngayon, of course, mabilis sila ginawa. Pero yung independent body na nag-test sa kanila, it was all blinded ha. Ibig sabihin, yung researchers mismo, hindi nila alam kung placebo tinanggap ng isang tao at hindi. At saka yung mga very, very closely watched yung ating mga pasyente or mga volunteers dyan. Tapos, there are different kinds of vaccines. Meron kang live attenuated vaccine, merong heat-killed vaccine, meron namang recombinant vaccine na yung portion lang ng virus ang gagamitin nila. Tapos yun ang ipa-inject. Tapos ito naman is an mRNA vaccine in the sense na ang mRNA, di ba, meron tayong DNA, mRNA, tapos protein na. So yung iba, protein ang ginagamit for vaccination, iba buong virus mismo, tapos pinapatay nila, tapos ginagamit sa vaccination. Ito naman is an mRNA na portion lang, so it was based on the sequence of the spike protein. Tapos yun, ima-manufacture sa body natin using, kasi virus ito, no? Tapos yung mRNA, ginagamit yung cellular machinery ng tao para yung mRNA ma-translate into a spike protein at siya na yung i-recognize ng ating immune system as something that they had to attack. So, hindi siya papasok sa ating chromosomal DNA at we will change as individuals or mag-mutate tayo. Tapos, Cito, itong isa pa, di ba, yung AstraZeneca at saka yung Oxford, no? Ito naman is essentially it's like a recombinant vaccine. Ginawa nila based on the spike protein sequence, pero kung baga plug and play lang. Kasi ibig sabihin, maraming mga tao nagda-doubt kasi feeling nila masyadong mabilis yung pag-develop ng vaccine, nag-shortcut ba sila sa safety? Not true. So while the development is probably 10 months, pero yung research nito last mga 10 years ago pa. Kasi nga dahil sa mga SARS at saka sa mga Ebola, di ba?
Hmm.
Marami sa ating mga scientists nag-isip na dapat pag may dumating na let's say virus X, kailangan ready tayo. So mayroon na sila kung baga framework na kung ano naman yung darating na bago, ipasok na lang nila yung sequence doon, pwede na silang mag-manufacture ng
Kumbaga sa ano,
plug
yeah,
and play. Oo, magaganon.
kumbaga parang, I mean, just so people who are non-science people,
Mm.
yung mga hindi masyadong mahilig sa technical,
Mm.
kumbaga sa police, ano, yung
Mm.
police o yung military, ang haba na ng kanilang intelligence data sa
Opo.
isang klaseng crime o sa isang klaseng kalaban, and
Mm.
base doon sa data behavior ng kalaban, gumagawa sila ng iba-ibang tactic o technique to
Correct.
capture or to neutralize the
Oo.
enemy. So same with
Correct.
doctors. Kasi sasabi, ang bilis naman yan. Sabi
Mm.
mo nga, katulad nung dengue, ilang dekada na ba yung dengue sa Pilipinas o sa mundo? Or polio, etc. So, it is not really beginning from zero. There's
Correct.
already a central bank of information. They just have to adapt new technology, new research, new
Mm.
techniques to consolidate a new solution.
At saka itong virus na ito, for example, the vaccine na design ng Oxford, for example,
Mm.
kumbaga yung framework niya, yung sequence na mag-engineer nito, nagawa na. So let's say it was done for cold viruses. Ang ginawa nila, gin-change na lang nila yung portion ng construct nila, pinasok na lang nila yung virus specific na, yung spike protein na yon. So madali na lang. So Sito, essentially ang world community nag-prepare sa isang
Mhm.
pandemic na kasi nakaka-alarm yung mga Ebola, 'di ba, yung MERS
Yeah.
at saka yung SARS. So sabi nila, what can we do to be better armed? So marami na silang pinlay na mga theoretical war games sa vaccine design. So nag-design na sila nitong framework ng vaccine na i-plug mo na lang yung bagong sequence. Kaya maganda na lumabas nga agad yung sequence ng January Kasi doon nila nakita. At saka alam nila na sa coronavirus, for example, yung immunogenic region, yung spike protein. So, hinanap lang nila. The same is true with Moderna, Pfizer. Hinanap lang nila kung ano ba yung sequence doon sa DNA, sa RNA ng virus na din-publish ng China. And then they use that region for the spike protein to design the construct kasi experience na sila na alam nila for coronaviruses, spike protein ang dapat gagamitin. Ganon.
Okay,
So,
Doktora, am I correct to, kasi madalas mong banggitin yung plug and play, no?
oo, pag ganito.
Many of us kasi, many of us think of genetic scientists, gene experts like yourself, na you guys are still working with ano ba yun, with vials, with beakers, etc., and flames, etc. Pero am
We
I
still
correct to,
use. We still use. We still
yeah,
use.
pero now, nasisimulate na ba lahat yan, yung data na yan sa computer, and then plug and play yung structure ng new virus, etc. And may mga program and apps
Oh,
ba na
sure. Yes,
gumagawa
yes.
niyan?
Oo,
Hmm.
at saka Sito, kahit yung mga undergraduate students namin ngayon Sito, kasi nga hindi nga sila makalaboratory, ang dami nilang thesis, puros computer modeling ng mga molecules, yung receptor-ligand interaction. Of course, it is computationally intensive, pero ginagawa na yun yung pag-fit-fit ng mga molecules. So, of course, they did the modeling. So, ginagawa niya,
Walang yan. Walang yan.
undergrad students,
Wala pala akong
ito,
kalaban dyan. Math 11 lang, take 7 na ako eh. Tapos ano, sinasabi mo, intensive computation.
oo.
Aray ko po!
So may mga molecular dynamic simulation sila. So yun na yung pinapathesis namin dito sa mga estudyante namin kasi hindi naman sila ngayon pwede mag-wet lab, di ba? So may mga ganong models, for example, at saka syempre coronavirus, at saka we also have knowledge of SARS. So doon sila nag-modeling. For example, may makita tayong mutation dito sa virus, di ba, nagsisequence tayo, di ba, ngayon, ng mga viruses, tapos tinitingnan natin yung location ng mutation. So essentially, the scientists or the tawag nito is structural biologists, they can do a computer model to see whether a particular mutation would likely alter the structure of the virus or a portion of the virus. So yun, kaya importante rin na we continuously sequence the virus and look for the mutations kasi minomodel natin kung ang kanyang mutation will dramatically alter the structure. Yeah.
Okay, you were saying yung plug and play kasi
Oo nga.
I don't know if you're aware. Ako naman medyo recently semi-retired na ako, but I love restoring old cars and modifying cars. And sa kotse, ang ginagawa ng mga iba, yung mga mahilig sa Fast and Furious, pag tinalo sila ng ibang kotse, tatanggalin nila yung makina, lalagyan nila ng mas malaking makina or modified engine. So that essentially is what's happening also with this vaccine search, because you have the basic platform, but you just plug in a different combination.
Oo, essentially, ang ating pinaplug is a DNA sequence.
Walang ya, para pala kayong mga tuner. Mga
So,
tuner. Yung mga-
So Cito, you know, when I was in high school, I really wondered bakit tawag sa kanila genetic engineers, di ba? Bakit genetic engineers? Sabi nila, tapos parang sikat na sikat kasi nga DNA structure was on. Bakit genetic engineers? Essentially, you are engineering proteins. Pero when you engineer proteins, ginagamit mo muna yung DNA sequence to change or to alter a protein or to make a recombinant material. So, parang chemical engineer ka, tapos lumalabas na yung product mo. So yung engineering mo ngayon, para kang may mga scissors, may pang cut, may pang enter, may pang paste, pero ang ginagamit natin sa molecular biology are enzymes. So you have enzymes to cut. So we call these restriction enzymes. They can cut DNA at specific regions. Yan. Tapos if you want to paste naman a new sequence, meron din naman tayong mga ligases na nagpe-paste naman. So yun pala. Kaya pala tinatawag na genetic engineering kasi you're essentially, pwede kang mag-engineer ng bagong chemical. In this particular case,
Okay, but you know, laging sinasabi, kinukota ko lagi nung kaibigan ko si Dr. Eugene Mendez. Sabi ni Kuya Cito, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Lumalabas tuloy, mukha akong timawa eh. But you know, with vaccines, parang ang impression ko is the only time, or at least I think it's a general impression, magkakaalaman lang tayo, we will only know if the vaccine works once we vaccinate people and people either don't get infected or infected. Is this correct, or is there a system that makes sure that before the vaccine goes out there, it is practically 100%? Kasi lagi natin nadidinig yung 95% na effective or 93%. Sabi ko, alang ya, para palang alcohol yan. Hindi mo malaman kung ilang percent proof yung alcohol.
So, ikwento ko lang sa iyo, Cito, yung story nito. So,
Ay, nawala si Dokta. Na-mute ka, Doktora.
Na-mute ako?
Oops. Okay.
Hello?
Let's, I don't know what happened. We seem to have lost your audio.
Really?
Gab, ano ba nangyari kay Doktor? Ako bang, nako, sandali. Ako pala yung nabingi. Hindi ka napipi, ako nabingi. sorry.
So ito,
Okay,
Cito, ganito. Bago
okay.
tayo mag-vaccinate sa humans, it went through trials sa animals. So may
Okay.
preclinical trials. So sa animals, pwede mo ma-challenge yung animal kasi sa animal experimentation, pwede mo siya i-expose sa virus. Itong ating human trial, Cito, kasi it's unethical to directly, spray a person with this virus to test. Tinitingnan lang nila, essentially, in a population na medyo marami ang cases, hanapin nila ngayon, so blind ito hanapin nila ngayon sino ang nagkasakit. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila intentionally in-infect yung tao, hindi. So, sino ang nagkasakit? Tapos sa mga nagkasakit, so meron silang hidden code, titingnan ng third party ito titingnan nila kung sa mga nagkasakit, ilan ba doon ang naka-receive ng vaccination? So, kaya tinatawag natin, Sito, yung word is protection Kasi hindi naman talaga sila totally inexposed dito sa virus na ito kasi unethical nga, no, sa humans. So tiningnan lang nila sino sa 30,000 o 42,000 na nag-volunteer, sino sa kanila ang nagkasakit. So let's say 195 nagkasakit. Tapos i-open nila ang code, titingnan nila sino sa 195 ang placebo at yung iba ang naka-receive ng virus. Tapos nakita nila doon na, karamihan sa mga nagkasakit hindi na-vaccinate. Kaya sinasabi nilang protection. So, pero malalaman naman talaga natin ito dito pag the moment na nandoon na sa field at matitest na sa mas maraming tao kasi doon natin makita talaga kung ano ba talaga ka-effective itong virus na ang vaccines na ito. So, in any vaccine project, talagang kailangan you keep on following up post-market kung kamusta siya or may complications or ganun. Kaya para ma-address at ma-fine-tune. Ganon.
Okay,
So, kaya, take note ha, protection Cito ang ginawa ha. Hindi nila directly expose yung mga tao. Kung baga they just went on their normal lives. Inanap lang nila yung mga nagkasakit doon at tiningnan kung na-vaccinate ba siya o hindi. Yun lang.
Okay, kumbaga nagparapol tayo pagkatas tingnan natin kung sino yung may pera sa wallet at sino yung wala. Okay. In any case, Doctora, shift a little. What's the situation? Because last time I spoke with you, you were playing, I'm just using it as a loose term. No? You were playing detective, tracking certain forms of COVID-19, certain variants of COVID-19. What has the Genome Center been up to lately?
So, Cito, ang ginawa namin, so we sequenced yung region ba, kumbaga, di ba, there was a D614G mutation na very popular or common in Europe as well as in the US. Tingnan na namin yung mga samples natin dito at di ba, ni-report namin na nakita namin na ang almost all sa samples, at least na test namin, of the European clade na ng virus, yung D614G. So, practically about 70% of the sa buong mundo, parang ganun na nga yung nag-predominate. Tapos may bagong data ngayon na ang ginawa naman ito sa Bello na Medical Center. Sinequence din nila, ganun din after June, parang ganun na nga, D614G mutation ang lumalabas. So far, maganda naman yung data ng Pilipinas, mababa ang infection rate. At the same time, yung ating death rate is really low compared to other countries. So, ngayon, Cito, simula ngayong buwan, iko-continue yan ng Philippine Genome Center yung ating, kumbaga, detective work sa virus. All over the country naman. So, we will sequence probably 1,000 to 3,000 viruses from our sub-national laboratories. Di ba, nag-biobank tayo? Not all, pero marami sa ating mga sub-national labs, gin-biobank nila yung samples nilang kinulek mula April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Isa-sampling natin yan, titingnan naman natin kung ano naman yung mga circulating viruses doon. So, this is a project na funded by the DOST-PCHRD at yung Philippine Genome Center naman, deputized naman itong DOH. Kumbaga kami na yung genomic biosurveillance arm ng DOH. So as the data come in, we will keep on informing our public. Kasi titingnan natin ano na ba yung nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Pero what is happening now, Cito, is parang maganda naman yung ating mga measures na ginawa ng ating gobyerno kasi bumaba talaga ang ating infection rate. Yun nga lang, ang ating concern, syempre, kami ngayon dito sa Genome Center, nagtitingin kami ng mga data day to day kasi syempre, di ba, may bagyo and some of the measures for social distancing hindi mahirap i-maintain. So, tinitingnan namin the next 2 weeks what will happen. And number 2 is yung, di ba, parang flu season ngayon sa Christmas nga. Hopefully, sana hindi tayo magka-second spike, kasi our figures now are really, really good. Despite the fact na in the US and in Europe, grabe, exploding ang cases ngayon.
And is it correct to assume that it is simply because the weather has changed? Kasi gano'n na rin nangyayari sa Pilipinas.
Correct.
Tapos na yung buhos ng ulan, pero palamig naman yung panahon.
Yes.
And I mean, is that correct? It's really weather?
So, posible yung weather at saka kung minsan naku-confuse tayo sa symptoms ng colds, 'di ba? Yung colds
Mm.
at saka yung COVID. So, that is a possibility, yung weather na 'yan. Kasi at this time of the year, marami naman talagang nagkakasakit sa mga
Yeah.
lagnat, no? Gano'n. Pero as long as we maintain our protocols, social distancing. At sa ako personally dito, ang feeling ko, yung ang paggamit ng shield has been very effective,
Mm.
Kasi yung paggamit natin ng shield when it was imposed, kasi dati yung mga tao, makita mo, kumwari, gumagamit ng mask, pero kalahati naman ang gamit,
Oo,
di ba? Tapos
kasi hindi
usap pa na usap,
makahinga.
hindi makahinga, at saka because of our weather. Pero sa shield kasi, may added protection ka, at saka siguro sa palagay ko, people, ayaw naman nila magkasakit. So people
Mhm.
in general have been observant of these
Doctor,
practices,
yeah.
no?
Doctora, last question because I remember during our last conversation, there were already ideas, suggestions, or speculations that after the long of time, sa haba ng panahon, sabi nga natin sa UP, di ba? Eh, hihina yung COVID-19 virus. Or there is a, speculation. Is this based on science that
Oh,
after a
yes.
while, the
Ah,
virus weakens?
so for example, I will just point to you, Cito, for example, yung
Hmm.
SARS-1, yung SARS-1, mayroon nagkaroon siya ng mutation. There was a big deletion a deletion in SARS. Kaya
Mhm.
yun ang sinasabi nila na after 7 months or 8 months, nawala siya. Kasi nag-mutate siya to a point na hindi na siya masyadong infective. Itong
Mhm.
ating virus ngayon, so far, sa Amerika at saka sa Europe, marami na. So yung ang mutation, masasabi natin, pwede siyang mag-mutate na magiging hindi na siya infective or di kaya hindi na siya pathogenic. That is also a possibility. Kasi sito yung virus, pag masyado siyang fatal, kung baga masyado siyang strong, it's against it. Bakit? Kasi kung ang kanyang victim mamamatay agad, hindi siya maka-replicate. It's not good for it, di ba? So, yeah.
Self-canceling.
Oo, canceling. So hindi maganda sa kanya. So we are very hopeful. Sana, of course, the whole world is watching this na mag-mutate siya into a less infective at into a less pathogenic form. Pero so
What,
far,
what
wala
about
pa naman tayong nakikita. Ha?
okay? What about the chance of it mutating to something stronger or deadlier?
Oh, that one, we are all watching for that. Pero so far, wala pa. Kasi nga, for some reason, itong coronavirus, di ba RNA virus, siya technically, ang mga RNA virus, madali mag-mutate, like influenza at saka HIV. Pero yung coronavirus this one is stable. Yung mutation niya,
Is
very
it
slowly mutating.
is it suspiciously stable? Kasi alam mo,
Ah,
I cannot remove that idea.
no, no.
Yung suggestion that this is a manufactured virus.
Hindi naman. Yung
Mhm.
coronaviruses in general, for some reason, not just this one, but the other coronaviruses are more stable kasi meron siyang quote-unquote, meron siyang proofreading mechanism. Kung baga, pag magkopya siya ng kanyang genome, parang kinokorek niya kung may error o wala. So this one, meron siyang may NSP14, meron siyang sequence na, kung baga, kinokorek niya. Hindi
Okay.
lahat ng RNA virus may ganun ha, pero the coronaviruses have. Kaya,
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Doktora Saloma. Talagang, as always, para ako nag-attend ng Genetics 101. In any case, thank you very much. And we look forward to speaking with you again in the near future, more for learning rather than for dealing with a bad situation. Because so far, everything is all good. Thank God. And thank you for your time today.
it's always a pleasure, Cito. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's Dr. Cynthia Saloma, Executive Director, Philippine Genome Center. Ang dami kadamok gid nating natutunan. Now, let's go. Ewan ko kung quick break. Okay, sinabihan po tayo ng ating executive producer. Quick break. Quick break tayo. Agenda will be right back. Okay, let's go to our next interview and we have with us, hopefully, maka-reach tayo sa kanya at palagay ko bago na cellphone niya, we have Labor Secretary, Dole Secretary Silvestre Bebot Bello III. Good morning, sir.
Nandito na yung aking cellphone.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary. Mukhang wala pa tayong video dyan. Paki-on na lang yung camera. But in any case, let's... ayan, Gabi, can you please help the good secretary para makita yung poging mukha ni secretary? In any case, tuloy ko muna, secretary, at baka medyo ikaw napaka-busy mo. First question regarding itong magkaintindihan tungkol dun sa cap o limit of nurses going abroad. Nilimit daw nyo to 5,000, pumapalag yung ibang organization na bakit 5? Dati 17 or more.
Kasi alam mo naman, Cito, na hindi pa tayo very sure about the COVID-19 pandemic dito sa ating bansa.
Mm-hmm.
And ayaw naman namin mangyari na
Ayun na. Poging-pogi. Okay.
Hopefully, hindi naman lumala yung yung pandemya na yan. Pero in the remote possibility na lumala yung pandemyang COVID-19 na yan, we have to make sure na we have enough medical workers to attend to the needs of our own countrymen. Mm-hmm. If you do put a limit to yung deployment ng ating mga nurses and medical workers, baka mawala lahat yan. Especially Cito, ang kinukuha ng mga receiving countries ay yung mga highly skilled and experienced nurses. So ang maiiwan sa atin yung mga baguhan, yung wala pang mga experience siya. Mm-hmm. And our president would not want a situation na malala ang sitwasyon ng pandemya sa ating bansa at kulang tayo sa mga medical workers. Yun ang iniiwasan natin. Anyway, ito namang cap na ito, Cito, is not a permanent cap. It is an initial cap, and if the situation worsens and will warrant an increase, why not? We will do that.
Mm-hmm. Pagpasensya mo na, Secretary, kasi I have to ask the questions sometimes unpleasant as they may sound, no? Pero why did we even open the gates in the first place? Kasi may mga nagsasabi, ayan, umasa tuloy yung mga tao, umasa tuloy, o bigla nagkaroon kasi ng opportunity, everybody wants to get out and make money. Why in the first place did we, or did the President open the gates for nurses or frontliners to go abroad? You know, Secretary, go ahead. We can hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay, Gab, pakiayos muna yung connection ni Secretary kasi medyo lumalaylay. In any case, it's important that we clarify these things because some people are saying, why did we even allow people or nurses to go abroad if we're afraid that we might have a shortage, especially in the face of a second wave in America, in Europe, and other places? Parang, okay, so, ewan ko kung delayed itong mga messaging natin dito. Okay. Secretary, are you back there?
Okay na, Cito. I can see and hear you na very clearly.
Okay. Secretary, the question is, why did we allow the nurses to go abroad in the first place? Kung baka we're afraid of shortage, plus the fact na talaga namang masama ang sitwasyon ngayon sa Europe at saka sa Amerika.
Well, actually, Cito, the normal situation noon is that we allow our medical workers to go where they want to go because it is their right to travel for the job opportunities elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Pinapayagan natin sila dahil karapatan nila magbiyahe at maghanap ng trabaho sa ibang bansa. That is it. Kaya lang, we came up with this regulation because of this pandemic. Kung wala naman itong pandemya, hindi naman nagkaroon tayo ng temporary suspension of deployment eh. Kaya lang tayo nagkaroon ng temporary suspension because of our uh, decision na we have to be very sure na kung lalala itong pandemyang ito, hindi tayo hindi tayo mawalan ng mga medical workers to attend to the needs of our own countrymen.
Okay, how will you control yung tawag nila cherry picking ba yon o yung pick and choose na kukunin lang yung mga magagaling veteran ER nurses, COVID-19 nurses pagkatapos matitira nga sa atin sabi mo mga novatos or mga baguhan. Will we screen these people as they apply to go out or parang raffle na lang kung may makalabas.
Hindi dito. Actually, yung namimili dyan, yung employers abroad. Sila
Yeah.
ang pinipili nila talaga, yung mga highly skilled, yung mga may experience niya. That is why you recall, I don't know if you heard me on TV say na may mga nurses tayo, especially in the private sector, na sa halip na sila ang sinesweldohan, sila pa nagbabayad ng training fee under the guise of training fee. Kaya ako sa mga private hospital exploited yung mga nurses nila. Ganoon ang nangyayari because yung mga nurses alam nila na kapag wala silang experience, hindi sila matatanggap abroad, hindi sila makakuha ng employment contract. Kaya yun ang ating concern na kailangan i-regulate muna ang deployment para matiyak natin na meron tayong mga experience and skilled workers and medical workers to attend to the needs of our countrymen kung lalala ang pandemyang ito. This deployment suspension would not have come about kung wala naman itong pandemyang ito
Yeah.
Kaya lang naman ganon because of the pandemya.
Okay, so Secretary, we support that kasi ako personally, medyo natatakot na ako para sa mga nurses because every day I get an update ng mga second wave sa Europe and America. Parang pinadadala natin sila sa gera. But yung tungkol dito sa regulating who gets to go, wala ba tayong plano na limitahan yung paglabas ng talagang mga skilled and veteran or experienced nurses? Kasi sabi mo nga, baka tayo naman ang mawalan.
Ang problema dito, hindi ka naman tatanggapin doon. Kasi meron silang mga may mga requirements sila doon. Halimbawa, they require you to have at least an experience of at least 2 years, ganon. So, ng mga receiving countries. Pero alam niyo, you have very good information about yung lockdown. Totoo yan. That is why very cautious din kami sa pagpapadala ng nurses natin, especially so dan sa United Kingdom. Even Germany. Even I had a meeting with the Polish ambassador.
Yeah.
At kanya na nagkakaproblema sila sa COVID. That is why they're requesting for at least 500 to 1,000 nurses. Pero
Yeah.
kasi, alam mo, pag kami nagpadala, meron kaming nire-require na waiver from the nurses. Sasabihin namin, you have to come up with a waiver na you are aware of the danger that you are going to. May caveat ka na you are exposed to a danger worse than the danger you are facing in our country.
Well, it's good you said that on the program kasi ayaw rin po nating isipin ng mga nurses natin and medical technicians na they're going to the land of milk and honey dahil they're going to the devil's lair, so to speak, because ang daming namamatay every day sa COVID-19 doon sa abroad. Yung akin ngang anak, hindi ba nadali ng COVID, pasalamat lang kay Lord na asymptomatic siya, but she was telling me that they can't do anything anymore. Dati, inggit na inggit ako sa kanila, nasa beach sila, nasa restaurant sila ng nanay niya. Aba, ngayon, wala ka raw mapuntahan doon sa Netherlands kasi talagang, and for the first time in Europe, the governments are actually using their power because doon, alam niyo naman, so na libre, may mga karapatan daw, pero ngayon wala kaming pakialam sa karapatan. Marami nang namamatay. Yun ang sinasabi ng mga governments doon. In any case, Secretary, what
Yes.
about our OFWs, yung mga pabalik? Kasi may nagsasabi naman sa akin, Kuyang, gawa mo naman ng paraan kasi napaka-limited yung testing capacity dyan sa NAIA, kanya hindi makapagpauwi si Secretary Bello. What is the situation? What is preventing the DOLE to bring home or reintegrate all of the OFWs? Is it really a problem of limited testing capacity at NAIA? Limited number of hotels? Ano po ba ang problema?
Actually, Cito, walang limit. Walang limit. In fact, our repatriation activity involves about 1,500 to 3,500 a day
Hmm.
dumarating sa atin. At when they arrive, agad-agad na swab yan. And after swabbing, they are quarantined sa mga hotels. Kaya fully occupied ang ating mga hotels dito eh. Halos lahat. Even yung mga 5-star hotel, they are serving as quarantine hotels for our OFWs. Kaya punong-puno yan. So for a maximum of 3 days, they stay in the hotel, and when the result shows that they are negative, we bring them home. We transport them home agad-agad. So wala
Wala-
naman problem. Ang
Wala
problem,
nang problema dun sa mga yung mga sinasabing border control sa mga probinsya, Secretary?
hindi po problema ng mga OFWs kasi may arrangement kami with the local governments. May prior notice sila. When our OFWs come in, alam na ng mga local governments na yung OFWs nila are arriving. Ito yung LSI is not our hindi po namin yan.
Okay. And then,
But
I'm just using that as a reference.
opo, pero ang problema kasi kung minsan tungkol sa repatriation,
Yeah.
ang schedule ng mga flights irregular.
Nako, tama po yan.
Regular. Kung minsan
Oo.
nandiyan ang airport, suddenly kinakancel, ganun. So that's one of the problems ng repatriation efforts natin, yung irregularity ng mga flight schedules.
Okay. Now, Secretary, cambio naman ako, no? Ewan ko kung tama yung pagkabasa ko or baka hilo lang ako. I read a article that you had called for the stoppage of that project diyan sa may SLEX ba? Yung nagkaroon na aksidente last Saturday. Medyo nagtaka ako, sabi ko, bakit DOLE ang nagpapatigil ng project, Mr. Secretary?
Actually, Cito, after that incident, agad-agad yung aming regional director conducted
Hello. talagang ayun na. Okay, Secretary, go ahead, sir. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Kaya pala hinanap ko yung
Ayun,
cellphone ko yung pinakausap.
Oh, okay. Balikan natin. Paki-reconnect si Secretary kasi baka mamaya kung anong mabanggit ni Secretary on air reminds me of a certain president who made comments live on air and medyo na-pick up. This is a couple of administrations back and na sumbatan tuloy yung kawawang presidente na yon. But ayan na po. Okay, last question, Secretary. Nakabalik na po kayo.
Sorry. May
Okay.
mga tumatawag kasi.
Okay, yung pong tungkol sa Skyway project or ano ba yung interchange sa may Alabang, yung nagka-aksidente, ba't yung pinasara?
Ganito yan na Cito, no? After the incident, nagkaroon ng inspection by our regional director together yung director ng Occupational Safety and Health Center. After inspection, they came up with an order stopping the operation of the entire project. But then, after they reported to me, and I reviewed their findings and the recommendation. I came up with a modifying order na yung stoppage order should only cover yung area na kung saan nangyari yung aksidente. Oo. Kasi hindi naman buong project na nagkaroon ng ang yung anong tawag dito, non-compliance with the occupational safety standards. Kasi sabi ko, unang-una, pag ininto yung trabaho na yan, ang daming trabahante mawalan. Kung
Correct.
tayo we are causing the unemployment of our own people, kako. And besides, a major build big infrastructure project. This is supposed to be, my understanding is that this is supposed to be delivered and completed before the end of the year. At kung pinahinto mo yan, mawawala sa schedule. And it's a very
Aabot daw hanggang February kung masunod yung stoppage.
Yun na nga po, and ang laking, this is a very very important passageway that will ease the traffic in SLEX.
So in any case, so you've remedied, you've corrected the order, and of course credit naman to the DOLE and to the safety, ano na nga ba pangalan nun, at least occupational safety, na-remind natin ang mga tao na hindi lang build, kailangan safe. Okay. Secretary, kung may sasabihin pa kayo, go ahead. Kung wala na, magpapasalamat po ako. Lagi kayong napaka-generous. At tanong ko lang, nabalik na ba yung cellphone nyo?
Agad naman, after 2 days, nabalik naman dito. Pero hindi ko pa ginagamit Hindi ko pa ginagamit. Baka kung anong ko sa cellphone ko.
Okay. Thank you very much, Secretary. As always, you have kept your sense of humor. Please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay strong. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yan po si Secretary Silvestre Bebot Bello III. Ayun po, yung cap sa mga nurses, ako po sumasabay na rin, sumusuporta na rin kay Secretary Bello kasi much as I know many of you want to go abroad, yung mga nurses, meron din naman kaming kapamilya dito sa aking tribo na nasa Ireland, nurse. Alam ko, malaki yung inaasahan nyo doon. Pero ako po magsasabi sa inyo, ang sama ho ng sitwasyon ngayon sa Europe, it is so bad that in the past, the governments there were hesitant to enforce masks, public safety, etc. on its citizens. Pati yung mga closure, yung mga lockdown. Ngayon, wala. Talagang nag-i-impose na sila kasi talaga namamatay ang mga tao, nagkakasakit, nagkakahawahan. So please think about it. Yes, you want to have money for your family, pero your family may not have the source of money after a few months kasi baka bumalik kayo na nakagarapon na kayo, no? And as far as the Skyway project is concerned, maraming salamat, na-correct yun kasi medyo nangamba kaming mga mahilig pumunta sa South Luzon, baka lalong humaba yung ating perwisyo doon kung ipatsara yung project. Anyway, we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, puntahan po natin yung quick break ba ito or basta break. Magbe-break muna po tayo and we will come back with the guys from Megawide here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, your host, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250, or perhaps on Facebook.com/OneNewsPH, or on YouTube by putting in One News PH. Okay, let's go to our third and final segment for today. And for this portion, we will be speaking with representatives, executives, top executives of Megawide Construction Corporation, namely its President, Chairman, CEO, Edgar Saavedra, and board member Megawide Construction Corporation Louie Ferrer. I have no idea if they will be coming in already or if we are having a connection. Oh, it is a situation. It's one of those days where connections are just disconnected. In any case, malalaman po natin yan. We will find out because we invited them to come on board to at least tell us more about their company, where they come from, how they were formed, what are their individual backgrounds, and what is Megawide getting into in terms, or why they're getting into this NAIA rehabilitation project or proposal, and what makes them think that they can do a better job of it. Because if I'm not mistaken, they were involved or are still involved with the Cebu Mactan International Terminal, and that has been gaining a lot of praises from the general public as well as the media. Pero for now, okay, we will see. Let's see kung makukuha natin yung, let's find out, Edgar Saavedra, President, Chairman, and CEO of Megawide. Are you there already, sir?
Hi,
Okay.
good morning, Cito.
Good morning. So, to my right, that would be you, Edgar. And, okay. And then also, Louie Ferrer, board member.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi,
thank you.
Cito. Hello.
Okay, hi, welcome
Nice
to
to
the
meet you.
program, gentlemen. Thank you for okay, that's perfect. Leave it there. Leave it there. That's perfect. Okay, guys, can you give us a little background on Megawide? Sino ba kayo? Ano ba kayo? Kasi alam nyo, nalilito kami lagi. We always confuse Mega World, Mega Mall, etc., etc. Who is Megawide, and when did you guys get together?
Okay, so basically, Cito, no, Megawide started 1997. So right after college, we started construction agad, no. Then we're from Lasallian.
Mm.
We're Lasallian. So when we finished our graduate, we started the construction. So until starting small, doing small construction of our friends and relatives. Then we grew the company by keep on improving the engineering.
Mm-hmm.
By 2011, we got the company listed. Ngayon, pwede ho natin sabihin, when it comes to engineering and technology, we're way ahead of the competitions. Kasi ho, we really invested in heavily in people and in technology. So,
Mm-hmm.
but noong 2012, starting 2012, when the government have launched the infrastructure projects, so we started doing the 10,000 classroom. Kami ho yun, gumawa nung 10,000 classroom. That time
Mm-hmm.
when we participated dyan, Chito, a lot of people were skeptic if because we are back then, we were far smaller and we were doing 12.5 billion na projects. And ano to, Chito, it's a design, build, and finance. So marami hong skeptic, and in fact most of the big players did not participate kasi challenging yung classroom. It's a 10,000 class public school, public
Yeah.
classroom. So ginawa ho natin yan in 3 years. In fact, we were able to help DepEd brought down their backlog from 60,000 classroom na backlog ho, even before the K-12. Tapos yung after mga 5-6 years, it went down to 12,000 classroom na backlog.
Okay, Edgar, just a clarification, ano, kasi medyo ang bilis mo eh. Ano ka eh, mo, talaga executive ka eh, very corporate. No? But guys, you graduated from LaSalle. What year did you guys graduate?
1996 ho.
1996. So, 1996, 2006, 2016, we're only talking, what, 20-something years. Wait, did you guys graduate as engineers, business? Ano ba yung degree ninyong dalawa?
Ako ho yung ako sa civil engineer. Si Louie, marketing.
Louie, marketing. Okay. Louie, how does it feel working with or for your classmate? Kasi, alam mo, hindi tumatagal yung mga ganyang arrangements sa mga kilala ko. Nagsasapakan eh.
Minsan nagsasapakan kami. But yung relationship kasi namin ni Edgar, way back in college pa,
Fresh bag pa.
we set up a business already. We had a photocopying machine inside LaSalle during our second year. So, yung relationship namin sa negosyo matagal na. Kaya meron kaming relationship.
I mean, no, that's really interesting. From the get-go, you were already business-oriented. You already had a partnership, photocopy machine to airport. Medyo parang, ha? Alam mo, kasi may yung kuwepe ko, yung ninong ko, si RSA, nagsabi sa akin yan, alam mo, Sito, dalawang klase na ang negosyante ngayon eh. Merong tycoon at may typhoon. Yung typhoon, dalawang klase din. Typhoon na biglang dating, biglang wala. Meron din yung sobrang bilis. You guys seem to be, really fast emerging and you're banging heads. Well, I'm not saying banging heads, but you are competing with tycoons now.
I guess, Chito, tama yun, no? Kasi nga, totoo lang, sa Philippines, alam naman natin, since 1970s, martial law, revolution, kudeta, totoo lang, medyo, kung i-backtrack mo marami tayong political turmoil, yung opportunities, hindi masyado kulang, no, at that time. Kaya kung mapapansin mo, in this country, kulang yung mga players. So, I guess we are lucky lang. We're one of the few players na nung medyo tumahimik yung politics natin, naging mas normal na since 1990s up to today. So, I guess, kaya kung titingnan mo, all the like construction companies na yung mga malalaki, usually mga mga matatagal na mga nasa 60s, 70s na sila. I guess it has something to do with the situation of the country na medyo wala masyadong opportunity nung 80s, 70s, 80s eh.
Well, Louie, I have to throw this question at you because you're the marketing guy, no? As Edgar was talking, there were videos of the PITX. Edgar mentioned the 10,000 classroom. You mentioned the photocopy. Pero has it been, parang napansin ko lang, I only picked up Megawide nung na-mention na kayo dito sa media feud or media war over na rehabilitation. Has it always been your policy to be low-key? Kasi yung PITX, the whole time, akala ko DPWH, DOTR ang gumawa niya. Now lumalabas sa inyo yan.
Yes. But, well, you're right, no? Mas gusto namin medyo low-key lang because we only attract certain audience lang naman eh. So, for example, we were doing construction for a long time. Yung kausap lang naman natin sa construction, a few players lang, not the entire, not the entire public, no? Now, since we started entering into infra projects that will benefit the whole public, that's the time na we started going public also. So, lumalabas na kami sa mainstream media. So, that's the only time. Pero hindi, syempre, ang layo namin compared to the other players, kaya hindi pa kami ganun ka-household name.
Yeah, but, yeah, go ahead, Edgar.
Sa dami kasi ng binabas, so we need to get out and explain ourselves kasi mga investors and creditors are starting asking us, even yung foreign investors namin, kasi listed company tayo, no? So are asking us, what are these all noises that are being bashed on you? So we have to explain ourselves kung sino ba talaga kami kasi for so long, medyo low-key lang tayo
Well, I'm sure you already, you know that I've also been a victim of this situation. But kasi, pati ako raw pwede raw magpa-interview dito for a fee. No, libre dito sa agenda at saka sa column ko. Let's make that clear, no?
Yeah.
But in any case, let's go past all of this bashing, this miscommunication, whatever. How do you guys operate? Because I mean, you're not buying a photocopy, Lasa Lights, Green Archers, kayang-kaya niyong bumili ng copying machine. Pero mga partners, gagawa kayo ng Mactan International Terminal, you're bidding for the NAIA. I mean, do you operate on the business principle of OPM or other people's money, or are your investments essentially bankrolled, etc.? How does Megawide do it?
Okay, kasi Site, noong 2011 when we got listed, no. So that time sinabi namin the 5-year roadmap that we have at that time, no. So we told our investors in the capital market to the lenders that we will be diversifying to go to infrastructure, particularly in the transport sector. Kasi alam naman ho natin, noong 2012-11, nakikita mo na yung problema ng traffic, nakikita natin problema ng bayan natin, and nakikita natin, may opportunity rin doon. So, ang tingin din namin, even at that time pa, na there is no player in the country na who has that experience. Alam naman natin Sito na those infrastructure builders of the Philippines, no, sila CDC, sila CPCP, sila wala na yun naging medyo hindi na sila ganung active. Those were the time where this semi-government GOCC na company like PNOC, PNCC, they were our builders of our infrastructure. But those were like 1970s where they used to be very active. So I guess that time, noong 2011, nakikita na namin yon. So at that time, when the government was trying to push for 10,000 classroom, airport, nag-join din ho kami sa participation ng airport.
So, dagdagan ko lang,
Louie.
naman, when we participate in infra projects, hindi naman dahil wala kaming background also. No? So, basic foundation namin is really engineering. So, that's why we can participate in infra projects. In terms of operations naman, definitely wala kaming, at that time, when we participated in Cebu, definitely wala kaming experience sa airport. No? So, we had to partner with global leaders on airport operations. That's our business model. We partner with an expert to help us operate the project, and then we build the capacity, we build the local team. No, so we're partnering in the airport. We're partnering with GMR, who is consistently in the top 5 airport operators in the world.
Ngayon,
Okay.
GMR is the biggest airport operator kasi nag-merge sila ni ADP, Airport de Paris. So nag-merge yung dalawa. Now they become the biggest, number 1 biggest operator in the world.
Okay, but and I'm not being controversial. Please don't get me wrong in this question. This is like a business student trying to learn. What role does that put you in? Are you a prime mover, consolidator, or is this a legitimate 60-40? We share in the burden, we share in the work. Kasi may mga consolidator di ba? May mga consolidator, they get the best and the brightest, and they just kind of step back and get like maybe 10%. Meron namang prime mover, kami ang amo, kami ang masusunod, and meron naman na yun nga sinasabi kong wala na, hindi ko na alam sinasabi ko, ang dami kong tinatanong eh.
Sito, I think it's a combination and 2 and 3 sinasabi mo. Because we're 60-40, ang structure ho natin, we created an organization na nandun yung tao nila GMR, nandun din kami. So then we operate as one.
Yes. So actually yung setup natin sa Cebu, no, we're 60-40. 60% it's a Filipino company. Yung expats po natin sa Cebu is only about 8 expats, no, just helping us with the technical expertise nila. But of course, the decision making will still be 60-40, no? 60% Filipino company. So I'm the president of Cebu Airport, And we have an advisor. We have a lot of advisors, so iba-iba sila to help us kasi wala tayong experience ng airport, no? And this is our opportunity na a Filipino company to be an expert in aviation, in airport, and we can grow this in this sector talaga. And tayo naman, sana may opportunity for us to go outside. Di ba? Di ba tayo proud doon na a Filipino company will venture into airport operations outside?
Okay, what? Yeah.
Sito, dagdag ko lang, no? I guess
Oo.
marami rin parang ano din sa mga audience, no, malaman din ng publiko na Megawide kasi, we are not just purely, kasi ganito, Sito ang construction, there are two types of construction. Typically, most of the construction companies are builder lang, meaning there are plans, a designer will provide the plans, then they will build based on the plans with some minor design changes. In our case kasi Megawide, yung strength talaga namin, we do engineering and construction. Now, ano ibig sabihin ng engineering? Yung engineering ho, like for example, designing, finding a solution of what type of facilities. So, yun yung strength natin. In fact, even from designing the 10,000 classrooms, even designing the MCIA, Mactan ho natin, where we won so many awards, even the Clark Airport na we finished, completed design and build it only a little over 22 years lang.
Teka, Edgar. Anong Clark Airport? Anong papel ng Megawide sa Clark Airport? Ayan na naman, hindi ko na naman alam yan. Ano
Okay.
yan?
So, tingin ko ganito. I think there are 4 major infrastructure na contribute ni Megawide. The first one, 2012, yung 10,000 classroom. When the government needed the private sectors to help them build that, kami ho yung sumali. We're the only one submitted kasi 1,700 sites ho yung location that you need to build this 10,000 classroom in region 1 to 4. Number 2, 2014, nung binid yung Airport Mactan, we also participated by partnering with GMR, yung kanina sinabi ni Louie.
Yeah.
And we competed with the big players, no.
Okay.
Now, but we're the only player, Cito dito. We're the smallest, but in terms of engineering or technical know-how, yung DNA ng Megawide is really a engineering company. So when it comes to infrastructure, we have the technical and operational advantage on that. Saka ang average age ng organization natin nasa 40 years old, 35 to 40 years old.
Okay. Sige. So, yung Clark.
The third one, yung Clark Airport naman, nung binid out din ng government yan 2 years ago, galing sa ground zero, no, the government said, okay, we will bid out, design and build flat ground zero, you design and you build, you have to finish it by within 27 months. That time ho, wala rin local players nag-participate except kami because sabi nung iba, that's impossible, you cannot build that.
There were 10 players down to 6.
Yes.
Kasi, pero may mga Filipino players doon sa 6.
Yes.
Tanggal yung 4, naiwan 6 players na lang, 5 Chinese and 1 Filipino company.
Correct. So, tapos Sito, 2 months ago, we just completed our handover. We are 1 month earlier pa dun sa schedule na sinasabi nila na sobrang tight.
Despite the
Yes, kasi we learned our lesson from building the Mactan. And last, Cito, yung PTEX na, yung pang-apat.
Okay. Sige.
Yung landport naman, Cito, it's the first, it's the only terminal in the Philippines na which has that integrated terminal. So we can accommodate up to 1,000 buses a day. And kung makikita mo Sito before and after the Baclaran side, 'di ba ang gulo-gulo diyan sa Baclaran, doon sa area yan. People are just the bus operators are loading unloading all the passengers doon lang sa kalye saan-saan, 'di ba? Punta kayo doon. If you see in Baclaran now, ang linis na. Now, I think DOTR, LTFRB, MMDA, including the bus operators, I mean, all of them have worked together, have realized that we really need this kind of facilities. Kaya medyo gumanda na doon.
Okay, sorry guys sorry guys kasi we're down to really strictly 5 minutes kung hindi ako magbabayad ng airtime. Ang tanong, why did you get into this NAIA rehab? Because based on your experience in Cebu Mactan, you guys got beat up there in the media and in social media. Ginulpi kayo doon. Okay? And then, I have to confess, isa na ako sa mga nanggulpi kasi parang sabi ko,
Yes.
sino ba itong mga typhoon na ito? Di ba? But now, with NAIA, it's an even bigger headache because you are up against a group, a conglomerate that, I mean, in fairness, they started the ball rolling. They spent more than a year or 2 years negotiating with government. And then suddenly, at saka hindi sila mga small time, ha? Ito yung
Oo
mga
naman.
genuine tycoons. Parang, in my mind, parang kayo naghahamon ng higante. Hindi ba kayo napagsabihan na, teka, mga anak, pumanap na kayo ibang project, huwag nyo nang pakialaman yung project ng mga lolo ninyo.
Nako, Sito, kung marinig mo lang, nanay ko tumawag na naman sa akin this morning to remind me. Kinakabahan ng nanay ko dahil bakit pa daw ako lalaban daw sa ganon.
Pero
i-share mo rin.
sa amin kasi Sito, we're not afraid, we're not worried, no? Because we're not starting from scratch, we're starting from experience. Meron tayong 6 years experience sa Cebu, and somehow we know already the airport operations business, no? So, yung NAIA, actually, we studied that 3 years ago. Naunahan lang kami ng yung original proponent mag-submit. Pero actually kami, pinag-aralan namin to 3 years ago, no? And we're very interested in NAIA because about close to 50% ng operations ng Cebu galing sa NAIA, no? So kami gusto namin na mag-improve talaga yung NAIA because the whole airport business in the Philippines and even outside will be affected for any inefficient airport, no? So gusto namin tumulong kaya very interesado kami sa NAIA.
Yeah,
At
but
saka-
Louie, guys, no, Edgar, the bottom line is, and I think everybody agrees on it, you can build and build all the buildings you want in that area. If you cannot have an additional 1 or 2 runways, it's still going to be inefficient. And with the San Miguel Airport coming up, baka hindi na maging commercially viable sa inyo yan. Kumbaga, hati-hati. You have CART, you have San Miguel, and then you have NAIA, and you have Cebu pa.
Actually, Sito, sa totoo lang, you know naman, NAIA will take time pa, no? It will not, it will take time for it to be ready. Then, if you look at the problem that we have right now, we have a 35 million capacity na airport. Tapos, marami hong flights na gusto ng mga airlines and tourists na gusto pa doon pumunta sa Philippines, but they cannot do that because we are restricted, we are limited in our capacity.
Yeah.
Now, ang plano natin, even though it's one runway, we will expand the capacity from 35 million to 65 million. So in other words, ang sinasabi namin dito, when we take over, we can address the problem by working together with the stakeholders, no, with our government and with our partners backing us, sila GMR. We know we can address the problem of yung delays ng flight, yung sa air congestion with a single runway. In fact, Louie, baka you can explain to Cito even yung yung sa UK, yung airport nila with
Cito,
single runway.
We believe the main problem of NAIA is really air congestion, no? So yun yung immediate na gagawin natin. We will rehabilitate the runway, ayusin natin yung mga we will add taxi lanes and para maayos yun, even with a single runway, we can run it efficiently, no? So ngayon, no, yung air traffic movement per hour ng NAIA would be about 40 to 45, mga in the mid-range of 40s. Pero yung most efficient airport in the world, yung most efficient runway in the world sa Gatwick, nakaka-operate sila ng up to 57 movements per hour. So actually, we believe na sa tamang management ng airside, we can improve the capacity of NAIA.
Yes.
Okay.
Sito, ano ibig sabihin
Yeah.
yung sinasabi ni Louie yung
30 seconds, Edgar.
65 million. Okay.
Okay. Well, sorry guys, no, but I think we got a mouthful. We got so many feedback regarding Megawide. Also, I think at the end of the day, you are not going to put your money and your investors' money on a project that you are not convinced of. So I just simply wish you all the luck. And sabi nga nila, may the best company win. And thank you for your time today. And again, inuulit ko po sa mga nanonood, ayan, nandiyan dyan si Louie at si Edgar. They can tell you interviews on agenda is for free. Hindi po kami kumokolekta. Okay, thank you very much guys and have a good day.
You too.
Thank you also,
Cito.
Cito.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yan po mga kaibigan, that's Edgar Saavedra and Louie Ferrer of Megawide Construction Corporation. Well, they brought us up to speed kasi ako, I don't know if I knew, if I just forgot because of my age, but they built Clark, they built Clark International Airport, they built the BITX, they did the Cebu Mactan International Terminal, yung renovation, and now they're bidding for NAIA. And of course, hindi lang naman sila. And at the end of the day, you know, the best man wins, the most determined company wins. And at the end of the day, we just hope that we all win with these improvements, because right now is a good time to do all of these projects because no one's coming in and very few are going out because of COVID-19. So while we are all locked down, let's build. Pati po sa mga bahay nyo. I wrote in my column today in the Philippine Star, what do you have to show for it? When all is said and done, when COVID-19 is finally over and you had to look back, what did you achieve? What do you have to show for it? What did you fix? Who did you take care of? What relationships did you repair? What do you have to show for it? And I hope that at the end of this pandemic, you can also say, I now have a much closer relationship with God and my Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. That's Agenda for You. Please take care.